This is the GIS Evening Report for Friday, June 28, 2024. I am Sherry Noel. In the headlines, Grenada is ready to host the 47th CARICOM meeting next week, and Grenada Parliament hosts Women Leadership Seminar. Details to this story and more when we return.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. Grenada is well prepared to host the 47th regular meeting of the CARICOM Community Heads of Government July 3rd to 5th. Chair of the National Task Force responsible for planning and organizing the meeting, Roxy McLeish Hutchinson, said the various committees have been meeting frequently to ensure all key elements are in place for the successful staging of the meeting. Delegates, she said, will begin arriving over the weekend.
We are progressing very well. All plans are in place, and we have conducted the recce visit along with the CARICOM Secretariat for the venues, important venues for the hosting of the event. The National Task Force has been meeting frequently, and all of the key elements that would allow for a successful event are in place and progressing very well. So we anticipate the arrival of our delegates this weekend, commencing this weekend, and we can be assured of a very interesting, exciting, and fruitful meeting of the CARICOM heads.
Heads of government will review the progress toward the goals for full free movement and 25% reduction in food imports by 2025. The meeting is significant for Grenada as it will highlight the strength of its leadership with Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell as the incoming chair and his vision for the region.
This meeting underscores Grenada's role as an active and engaged member of the CARICOM community. And it also highlights our capacity to host and organize international events and regional events. And as hosts, we have the opportunity also to showcase our leadership within the Caribbean region. And we can also have the opportunity during those meetings to lead discussions on important regional issues and propose initiatives, influence policy decisions that will impact our member states. So the hosting of this meeting is very significant, in particular for our government.
Hutchinson says CARICOM heads will discuss agri-food systems, work program, climate change and sustainable development, foreign policy, the CARICOM single market and economy, CSME, and engagement with social partners. Legendary Guyanese cricketer Sir Clive Hubert Lloyd and Jamaican regionalist Mr. Roderick Rainford, former Secretary General of CARICOM, will receive the Order of the Caribbean Community during the opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony for the CARICOM Heads meeting takes place on the afternoon of July 3rd at the Charter Hall at the HGU. Now, the opening ceremonies are always events that persons look forward to because it has a very unique and interesting cultural display of the host country. But in addition to that, on this occasion, there are two events that will feature in our opening ceremony. One, the government of Curacao will be admitted as an associate member of CARICOM. And that admission ceremony will take place during the opening ceremony of the CARICOM heads. And in addition to that, the Order of the Caribbean Community, which is the highest award that is given to a CARICOM citizen, will be conferred on two CARICOM citizens during the heads meeting in Grenada. Sir Clive Lloyd, a renowned cricketer, will be awarded, as well as Mr. Roderick Rainford, a former Secretary General of CARICOM, will also be conferred on this award. So this is going to be a very exciting time for the community, and we look forward to putting our own signature on the events that happened in true Grenadian fashion.
Moving along, residents of Corinth and surrounding areas in St. David now have a comfortable space to socialize and boost development, as Parliamentary Representative Honorable Deacon Mitchell officially opened the community centre on Thursday. The refurbishment of the facility is part of the government's effort to strengthen communities throughout the island. The renovated building will be used for meetings, social events and educational activities. MP Mitchell is optimistic that better days are ahead for his constituency. He mentioned plans for the revival of the Corinth Steel Orchestra at the community centre.
Our community centres as well also double as hurricane shelters. And so in the case of Bale Isle, it has now become a hurricane shelter, where previously it would not. And if you know Bale Isle, you'd appreciate why having a hurricane shelter in the community itself is important. Alternatively, you would have had to walk a significant distance to get to any of the schools that are earmarked as community centres. This building has a downstairs. And if you go downstairs, you will actually see the old steel pan drums that are there. So the Corinthians, just like how this community center has been refurbished and is coming back, so too the Corinthian Steel Orchestra is coming back. So phase 2 for Mr. Noel and the team will be to ensure that the downstairs of the community center is outfitted in a manner that would allow the music, the steel pan, the culture, and the creative talents of our young men and women in particular, and our old men and women also, to flourish in Corinth.
Technical Officer in the Ministry of Community Development and Housing, Joseph Noel, explained the scope of work of the project.
The transformation of the center involved plastering of the front to the back, the painting of the ceiling, all the different colors here, and as people go around the country, you'll see that we've changed in the colors of all community centers to these 2 blues. Right? I think it's perhaps the favorite color of the Prime Minister. I don't know. He'll have to say. But all the buildings, we're going to be putting them in blue. The floor, we've painted the floor. We've done some work on the bathrooms in the back there and the toilets. And to the far end, we have a gentleman who's been doing his barbecue business there for the last 15, 20 years. And as we go about transforming things, transforming people's life, we decided that guy is going to be staying there and we're going to enhance what he's doing.
Social and Community Development Minister Honorable Gloria Thomas emphasized that the community center will create a positive atmosphere for residents.
I feel elated to be here participating in this grand opening. I have worked with and in communities for all my life, at different levels and in different capacities. And I'm always so excited when communities can have a space where they can congregate, to socialize, to learn, to plan, to grow, and to develop. These opportunities help in the realization of strong, cohesive communities, which result in the transformation of the physical, the social, and economic landscape of the country. This community center, brothers and sisters, will provide opportunities for active living and recreation in a safe, inclusive environment.
This is the GIS Evening Report. More news after the break.
Raise your voices high, sing up your chorus, young pride, sing it loud and strong, St. George brings your heart beat as one.
Violence is never the answer. Let's talk it out. We need a safe space for our children to grow up, so let us respect each other. You see this little light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning while the children is looking on. So let's take advantage of the gun amnesty in full effect until July 30th. Remember, the answer is love. A message from the Ministry of National Security. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning.
The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. Grenada's Parliament, in collaboration with Parl Americas, is currently hosting the training of 35 young women to become political leaders through the Women's Political Leadership Project. The project aims to strengthen the sustainability of women's organizations and enhance their programming, including partnerships with national parliaments to create environments that enable women's political leadership. President of the Senate, Decima Williams, explained during a recent sitting of the Upper House that the project activities include workshops to encourage and support electoral candidacies by women, leadership initiatives with young women, and facilitation of knowledge exchanges and meetings.
This 5-week seminar is still ongoing and will culminate with a mock sitting of Parliament on the 15th of July. I want to thank all those of you who have been engaged and in welcoming them and in presenting orientation and briefings and even substantive input with them.
The program is designed to support these young female leaders in building knowledge, skills, and networks necessary for their work as current and future change makers. President Williams encourages local parliamentarians to support the young leaders in an effort to foster young women's interest in public leadership.
I want to ask you to encourage your daughters, your nieces, your cousins, all your female relatives, your neighbors, and others to support these young women who are aspiring leaders for our country. And there'll be a special transformational training session, transformational leadership training session on the 12th of July, which will precede the mock parliament on the 15th. So please get involved. It's a national happening. It's around leadership. Many of them are looking to model their careers in politics or in leadership after you. Please get involved.
Dr. Niels Chaitin, an international crime reduction specialist, has partnered with the Ministry of Social and Community Development to launch a campaign across 7 communities aimed at tackling crime on the island. The Stop and Think project is a 12-part series addressing social issues that impact crime on the island. On Thursday, Dr. Chaitin conducted an orientation and training session with key stakeholders, including members of the RGPF probation officers, committee liaison officers, members of faith-based organizations, and others. The campaign will be launched on July 7, 2024.
The objective of the campaign, of course, is, well, it's interventive, it's preventive, and it's rehabilitative, right? I know that's a mouthful, right? But we want to, the only how we could actually help to deal with crime in Grenada is by touching the roots of crime. Okay? Right now we are doing things like, which is good, I really endorse, like the gun amnesty. This is great. But that's the fruit. That's what we are dealing with right now. Project Stop and Think is really meant to mitigate the root of the problem. So in prevention, we look at the homes, we look at the schools.
Dr. Chaitin spoke about the engagements.
The intervention is the communities, right? So right now we are targeting 7 communities, 3 in St. George, 1 in St. Andrew, that's Telescope, 1 in St. Patrick, that's River Sally, 1 Victoria in St. Mark, Guave in St. John, then we come to Snow Corner in St. George, Carriacou in St. George, and we end in Montu. It's a 7-day cycle. Every day we're on the road. And what we are doing there, we're actually looking at some of the roots, some of the reasons why a young man would get involved in crime. By the way, we are not just dealing with young men, young women too, of course, but the emphasis on young men.
Probation Officer Valerie Ford said she's delighted to be a part of the initiative.
We are excited for the rollout program for Stop and Think. It's much needed in terms of the young people and reaching out to them. And we're going out into the highways and the byways. It's an exceptional intervention program that we really have been looking forward to. We've been looking out for something like this for a long time. So we are ready to go out, and we're just ready for the young people need it. It's what's needed.
And with that story, we come to the end of the GIS Evening Report for Friday, June 28th, 2024. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sherry Ann Noel, thanking you for viewing.